Hey there, lovely souls. Hope you're doing well. But if you're not, that's okay. We are going through, just seems to be constant upgrades and purification and detoxing, which I guess makes sense because we're going through the liver season, the gallbladder, which is all about detoxing and releasing our bodies. And but this goes beyond the physical. We're going through a huge emotional, mental, spiritual, soul cleansing. It's like a whole purification of karma, childhood wounds and traumas and generational trauma. It just feels like it's this. What I saw the other day was this separation of tectonic plates. And with that was this uprising, this energy that was rising up. And it was this white, purest of fountains of white light. And I was seeing all the dismantling of pillars, very Grecian structures, temples, to the point where I was like, oh, my head really hurts. My temples. This was like the encapsulation that is dissolving, whatever that really means. And I'm still working into what that actually means. But it feels like everything that's been held within Earth or suppressed is breaking free, and we are breaking free. However, we can feel like we're breaking down, and another word is like we're shifting our shite, not losing our shite. And it's the only way we can shift that is by actually looking after ourselves and giving us a shitload of compassion and love, because we can give ourselves a hard time. I think we're probably the worst person for ourselves. And, we just need to look after ourselves and hold some compassion for that. That's always the first person to hold it for you. And then when you can do that, you can hold it for compassion for those around you that may well be really triggering you and bringing up your wounds. And the only way I can do this, and it's happened to me just recently, is it feels very visceral and something's coming up to be worked through. And for me, it's about seeing the story, but not being in the story, and understanding what is it that's is seeking to be healed. Because when we look for others to give what we want, and when they're not giving it, and they probably haven't got the capacity to do it, ultimately it's what we need to give ourselves. So for me, it's about being seen, being heard, being listened to, being valued and respected, and to feel like I have a voice, to not feel invisible. And it's how I do that for me. How do I give myself that value? And you can only do that with real space and time and looking after yourself and compassion. And so, yeah, I just want to share that. I've grabbed some cards that I wanted to pull one for this video, and it's from the Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. It's Angels and Ancestors. Oh, it's no surprise then if we're talking ancestral. But we are going through this, this huge purification. That's the only way I can call it. It's just this massive shifting and releasing us from these old paradigms, these old ways of being, these beings of fear and separation, which is actually our illusion, but it feels so real in our bodies because that's what our nervous system has grown to be connected to, and all our infrastructures that are based on fear that are falling down, that are falling away, and it can look completely chaotic. Our whole survival pattern and nervous system is being really challenged, and it's exhausting. So we need to be able to find our natural safety, our natural connection that is earth itself. We are nature. Nature is our earth. That's our connection. So we need to start to remember our truth and our true connection of who we really are, and letting go of these old patterns and infrastructures that have us separated in fear and have us disempowered. and that we need to start reclaiming back our power and our sovereignty. So we are going through that individually and collectively. And we need to just create like this space to be more conscious of it. Otherwise, we're just lost in the story, lost in the fear and the emotions. Okay, so I always ask for the highest and greatest good. And we have got this card, Lord. And it says, take charge with authority. Ooh, okay. Or I feel like I need to say instantly. It's interesting, I can't find the book that gives me the actual message. But so I will give you my interpretation of that. How about that? So my interpretation is, when we say take charge and authority, it doesn't mean taking charge of anybody else. This is about your inner power and your sovereignty. So power is so misused that it's like you're taking from somebody else, you're controlling somebody else. That isn't what power is. That's fear. That's manipulation, depending on how it's done, whether it's coercive, which is more feminine toxicity, or whether it's empowering in your face, and that's masculine toxicity. So this is all about your inner power, your inner sovereignty, and really start to claim back your worth and become conscious of that. And I liken this to a study was done on fleas, just put in a jar, and they could jump much higher than the jar, but they put a lid on it. Okay, just put my hands in here for demonstration purposes. Now they could normally go up this high, but once the lid was put on it, only for a little while, not to say they actually died or anything, but they took the lid off, and the fleas wouldn't jump any higher than that. Whereas previously they were jumping up here, but after that they stopped. And then their offspring, excuse the pun, wouldn't jump any higher either. But they had the full potential to jump up high here. But somewhere along the lines, they'd been conditioned to believe they couldn't. We are like those fleas. Generationally, we have absorbed generational patterns and beliefs that we are to be governed, that we are to be controlled, and that we have a restriction. We haven't really understood our full potential, and we are being shown that. However, it can feel really discombobulating and dysregulating, and you're like, WTF, what the hell? Okay, so I can only suggest to you, beautiful souls, when you're listening to me or when you're hearing this, to just take time for you and bring in self-care practices, and just to know that when you're not feeling love, joy, and peace, it's not your truth. It's a truth or belief system that has got so ingrained in you that it feels true, but it isn't your truth. And that is something you need to be able to hold in your body. Yeah, so this is really about just finding your body, finding your connection, because the head will be going ping pong and it will feel really, you'll be trying to grasp truth in your head and it's not going to give you that. Okay, you have to go deeper into your body, and that's love, that's your heart, that's your wisdom. And when you can feel it, because everything that you're desiring is already within you, it's just this plaque, these belief systems that have blocked you from that, your sovereignty and your power. And when you, and I do this with people, you just say, okay, what is it that you're intending? What is it you choose to feel? And you go into the essence of what that is. Well, how does that feel in your body? And like, oh, where do you feel it in your body? And they can feel it, and most of the time it's in the heart or the solar plexus. It's not up here. That's often where the pain is. Which, interesting, if you're struggling with headaches, cranial tension, migraines, neck pain, jaw pain, throat pain, shoulder pain, this is all because it's trying to shift and move through, but we're held in trying to understand, so it's stuck. It's not just, this fountain isn't getting the opportunity to move up through and release. Yeah, so this is really about you tuning into your heart's wisdom And when you do the somatic work and you connect into your body, the truth is there. So it's nothing you have to attain from yourself. It's already within you. You just need to remember. And it's once you connect into it and breathe and allow it to move, you can come back to it whenever you need to. And this is about being curious and starting to listen to a different wisdom that's within you. So with the Lord, take charge with authority. This is about taking your power back, your sovereignty, your healthy boundaries, and not play the victim. That's the biggest energy that's coming out, is victim, martyr, perpetrator energy. When you feel yourself feeling victimized or helpless and hopeless, this is calling you to move through the belief that you don't have a choice, and that actually you do have a choice. It's fear that has you believe that you do not. So I've got my book, Love to Heal, and I just wanted to just do a quick like a flick through and see where it lands and see where it gets us. Okay. Ooh, it's literally just landed on chakras. So I'm peeling the emotional and physical layers through the energy systems of our bodies. Where does it take me? All living plants, creatures, including humans, are a creation by Mother Earth and are sustained through this intrinsic relationship with the elements, earth, water, fire, sun, and air. Our chakras are the energy centers of our body, relating to these elements. They are a complex set of energy interactions that become denser in energy to form our physical human body and spirit. They are gateways to our physical and emotional body, forming channels of communication and flow, allowing the life force, our energy and light to flow within our bodies. Any energetic imbalances through the emotional and physical forms dysfunction, becoming a restriction of flow. So yeah, just have a ponder. It's interesting, it just landed on straight on chakras. So which holds the whole body as energy, but what we see is the physical. So it's really about, if you're having physical issues, it will be highlighting to you where you're emotionally imbalanced, where you're mentally imbalanced, and how to bring you back to your natural balance, which is love, joy, and peace. So I wish you absolute well through this. It isn't pleasant. I also go through it, but it's much more graceful when, one, you have somebody supporting you, and two, you're more conscious of it, because then you don't just get lost in the story and you start creating your own story. Okay, you become the maker of your path. Take charge with authority. So lots of love, peeps. If you need any support, you know where I am. You've got, my materials, you've got the book, you've got the course, you've got my membership, you've got me one-to-one, you've got my group sessions. Yeah, you're not alone. Take care.